Hello and welcome to week 35 of the free League of Legends Champions. Here's a quick overview. Who's free this week if you're thinking about trying them? First off, we have Annie. She's one of the early League of Legends champion. She's AP mid, basically. Her main gimmick is that she can summon a giant teddy bear that's on fire. She also can stun as her passive, I think, every fourth attack. So the main thing you need to look out for Annie, or use as Annie, is that she's going to try and bank that stun with her ultimate, so that you're going to get stunned, the giant teddy bear is going to land on you, and she'll light you on fire. Or ice, depending on the skin. She's a lot of fun, pretty easy to use. If you're new to the game, Annie's definitely a fun one to get used to. Next up, we have Fiddlesticks, the crazy scarecrow guy, another AP character. He's got a lot of tricks, not a lot of damaging moves, but kind of like silly things. He has a 3-second fear, which is terrible. That means you lose control of your character if you hit somebody with it. He has a move that shoots out a scarecrow, bounces off a couple of people. Everyone hit by that is silenced, which means they can't use any abilities, so that's great. And he has like a life steal one-on-one move that's really good as well. His ultimate is terrifying. He blinks, kind of self-flashes, and then does AoE damage with a lot of noise. He used to be played as a jungler. In fact, that's like the first thing you see here listed under his character. You don't see a lot of that anymore. He can also be played as kind of an annoying support, using that silence and fear to ensure that the AD carry can do a bunch of ganks and stuff. Try him out. If you want to see a semi-successful example of that, the recent Marn dynamic fight that happened, you can find that on LOL, on the IGN LOL channel. Clanky D played Fiddlesticks. Great early game, but you're not going to learn anything about late game from him. Next up, we have Gangplank. Kind of thinking they're testing out the new patch. Gangplank is a beefy kind of character. One of his normal moves, I think, is W. He eats oranges and he erases any kind of CC on him. So if you know someone's going to be laning you with some good solid stuns or something like that, use Gangplank. The neat thing about him is his Q, Parlay. He's actually a melee champ, if you see that sword of his. He uses the pistol with his Q. He now refunds half mana if he kills a minion with it, which will let you harass from range. The big gimmick for Gangplank to keep in mind, his R is a global ultimate, which drops cannon shots. It slows and actually does pretty good damage these days if you have enough ability power. Or it could be scaling off AD. It's been like a year since I played Gangplank. Very useful champion. Check him out if you want to play top lane. And bizarrely enough, I've seen him played as a support as well, thanks to his speed buff. He kind of has a free Shirelias on his E. And next up, we have Malphite, the jungler of the season. He took a nerf that isn't really going to hurt him that badly. You can use him if you want to jungle or if you want to be a solid top lane. The main Malphite gimmicks is that his passive, basically, I think 10% of his health is converted into an extra life bar. So when he looks normal, he has a bunch of free health that you need to peg away at before you can really do damage. If you're attacking a Malphite, don't really use any of your main abilities until you see that he looks kind of melted or cracked or some kind of change to how he normally looks. Then he'll be taking the full brunt of your abilities. Things to worry about him, his ultimate is a charge move where he'll knock just a large number of people up into the air. Great initiate, it can go through walls and a couple of other things, so if it's a jungle Malphite, just get ready to be knocked up in the air and slowed. I think he also can slow attack speed as well, so he's pretty good against AD carries or close-ranged AD champs. Next up is Urgot. He recently got a nerf. He's played as an AD carry, but he doesn't. I don't know. He's kind of an interesting champ. The difficulty bar being at top is a very good thing for him. He's got a lot of gambling things for him. His ultimate is he switch place with someone. He gets some damage buffs, but if you're stupid about it, I mean defense buffs. If you're stupid about it, you can get yourself totally wrecked. Main gimmick here is you want to land his E, which is a grenade that spits acid. If you hit anyone with that acid grenade, you can then shoot out a homing, kind of like razor blade looking thing with his Q, and you can do massive damage to someone who doesn't have solid armor. He's kind of considered an anti-AD carry, so if someone's playing a standard AD carry, you can kind of wreck him, but he took some nerfs. We'll see how he goes. Nocturne, the old jungle favorite. Nocturne, I have never seen him played in anything that isn't jungle. Main gimmick out of him is that his R, or his ultimate, darkens the whole screen, so you cannot see any of your allies, and he can do a pretty good dash from long range once it hits second level. His first level, he still needs to dash within ward range, so he's always a threat, always a danger. he can do kind of AoE damage. His passive is that every 10 seconds, and you can speed that up with basic attacks, he does AoE damage. So he's pretty cool. You can actually see footage of Nocturne on our channel. Matt plays him in jungle, so admittedly he's not the best Nocturne, but you can learn from him nonetheless. Up next, I'm excited about this one myself. This is, I guess, if I had to say there was a pick of the week. My pick of the week is Vayne. It's one of the few AD champs I don't own. The main gimmick of Vayne that you're going to find out is her W, kind of like a passive. Every third hit she does an amount of true damage, and if you're not familiar with true damage, that's damage that ignores any kind of defense, armor, magic resist, any of that kind of stuff. So this kind of allows her to be really, really dangerous in the late game. Once people build armor and other kind of defenses, it just melts right through if you have a good enough attack speed to get that third hit over and over again. She also has a pretty good stun if it hits up against a wall, and her tumble basically buffs her juking abilities. And if you're unfamiliar with juking, that's another word for dodging. She's pretty difficult to play the first 8 levels with her or so, and I could be exaggerating a bit. Real rough. She's not good early game. She's actually terrible early game. So if you're in it for the long haul, late game, you can do tons of damage. And I'm a huge fan of just about every skin they've made for her. Up next, God, I don't even want to talk about him, but Skarner. He's the stupid Crystal Scorpion. The only reason I hate him is I'm terrible at him. In the current meta, you're going to find Skarner mainly in the jungle. His main gimmick is his ultimate, like most junglers. He can kind of shoot like a laser beam out of his scorpion tail, and he can drag people for quite a while. So if you're in a fight and he charges you, and you hear, I think he just screams some kind of scorpion-esque gibberish, he's going to be able to pull you into his team where you're going to be brutally murdered. So if you're an AD carry and you see Skarner, make sure he's slowed, get out of his way. He can do an AoE attack with his Q. If you have a little light over your head, that means he can heal. He can do some lifesteal out of that. But the main thing you got to worry about with him is that he can just gank with that R all day long. He can pull you into turret range. He can pull you into his AD carry. Just watch out for that because he can be a real frustrating champ to go against. Lulu, next up, a support champ. Lulu can be real fun. She can also be played AD or AD, AP mid. And her main gimmick, well, I guess she's got everything on her as a gimmick, is the main way to say it. She has got, and you can see in her little picture, she's got the little fairy here. I think his name is Pix. I could be wrong. Pix basically mirrors all of the attacks that she does, and a lot of her abilities, like her Q is called Glitter Lance, and that'll shoot a straight straight magic attack out of Lulu and out of Pix. So you can do X shapes, and you get Pix to land on other minions or people. So you can actually set up a lot of crazy stuff, and that slows. She can put a shield on you that allows. She can put a shield on other champions that allow them an extra magic damage. She can turn other people into squirrels. Like, she's got a lot of great, and she can self buff her own speed as well. So you got a lot of great buffs, and her ultimate basically makes someone really big, and it can be really funny if you get on an already huge champion. Great for survival stuff. She can survive quite a bit of stuff herself. If you can look for it, there's a really great top 5 fail video. Maybe I'll link to it in this video where you can see Lulu getting away with the most amazing chase in the world. And last but kind of not least, jury's still on Jace. He's the latest champion to the League of Legends until Vyra. I'm saying her, or Zyra. I don't know. Just heard the plant lady's name for real in the champion spotlight. But he's a changer, kind of like Nidalee. His whole gimmick is that shiny-looking weapon of his is a hammer or it's a gun. It's a gun. It's a hammer. He starts out with his ultimate already selected, and when you switch between the two, he gets a speed buff. He's a skill champion. I mean, as you look at his bars, Riot seems to think he's high on everything, and he kind of is. He's since I've never played him, I can't really speak to his abilities, but I can say that he's an absolute pain to lane against. The main thing you want to watch out for is he has a speed boost thing. He kind of sets up a line. And if he walks through it, he gets a speed boost. More importantly, if he shoots his beam through it, it'll zoom forward super fast and do a big AoE explosion. Watch out for that. I've seen a lot of people thinking that they're safer out of range, just get pegged by that and they'll die. And you know what? Even though he does great range damage, he can still leap on top of you too. He's got a good knockback and an AoE damage ability. So you know what? Try him out, learn him out. Though I've heard that, why bother? Botter. Otter and Botters. Why bother? Because you can just be Nidalee, who's another transforming champ who is just better at just about anything that she can do. All right, well, that is the free champions this week for week 35. If I'm going to go free, it'll be Vayne. Hopefully, you'll have a hero that you'll like for the next week, and who knows who we'll have the week after. You can see these skins that are on sale sometime tomorrow.